Hi everyone, welcome back. So today's video is going to be on curry corn, and I know it's Christmas time and some of you might say that curry and Christmas don't really belong together, but I would say otherwise. I think a good curry corn on Christmas Day is life. So I wanted to share this recipe for curry corn. It's been highly requested on YouTube and on Instagram, so I'm finally going to share it with you guys. For all you vegetarians out there, I didn't forget you all, so this recipe is for you. So the first ingredient is the star of the recipe. This is some corn. I have some really sweet corn. I use about 6 corn and I just cut them up into like 4 pieces each. So make sure it's washed properly. Next I have some coconut milk, and I find that the coconut milk gives it a really creamy taste. Next I have some green seasoning. This is just a basic Trini green seasoning. I'll have the recipe for this linked in the upper right hand corner right here. This green seasoning that I made, it just has garlic, Bandhania or Shadon Beni or Culantro or Recao, and it has a hot pepper. So it's very basic. Next I have 1 hot pepper chopped, some Karrapillay or curry leaves, and some seasoning peppers or pimento peppers. Here I have some garlic and some ginger, just minced it really finely. And the ginger is totally optional. I just love the little kick that it gives to the curry sauce. I'm also gonna just add a few bay leaves. I just find it gives it a little extra kick. Another important ingredient for the curry corn is the curry powder, and I like to mix my curry powder with different spices. So I have my favorite curry blend here. I have some roasted ground geera or cumin seeds that's been toasted and then ground. I have some Black Amchar Massala, and I have a little bit of turmeric, or we call it saffron in Trinidad. If you don't have these extra spices, just use your favorite curry powder, because the curry powder already has those spices in it. I just like to kick it up a notch and add some more. So the last and special ingredient we have here is some pureed split peas or Dhal. So this is my little special touch to the recipe. This is not totally traditional, so you don't have to add it, but I find that it gives the sauce a nice, dense, creamy consistency. So that's why I love adding the Dhal to it. I find that when you just do a plain curry and you want to eat it with rice, it ends up being very watery and you end up with very little sauce. So adding the Dhal helps you to add more sauce to your dish so you can eat it with rice. So my pot is on medium-high heat, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of oil. I'm using avocado oil. You can use whatever type of oil you like to use. After about 1.5 minutes, add the ginger and the garlic. Now add the bay leaves, the Karrapillay leaf, the pimento peppers, and the hot pepper. Now you want to lower your heat all the way down to like medium-low. And go ahead and add your spices in there. So you want to let those spices really chunky or fry and toast in that hot oil. So after about 1.5 minutes, add in a little bit of water, because you want to make a nice curry slurry or a paste. About 4 to 5 minutes later, you'll notice the curry is starting to get very grainy. So that's how you'll know the curry is cooked properly. At this point, I like to go in with that pureed split peas or Dhal. And make sure you add some water to this bowl, because you want to get all this good stuff out of here. So I'm going to fill this bowl up and I'll have it on standby for when I'm ready to add some more water to the mixture to make a sauce. Now you want to go in with the coconut milk. And I don't have fresh coconut milk, but fresh is always best. I'm using the can. And don't forget that the exact list of ingredients and everything that I use today will be listed down below in the description box. So I just raised my heat back up to medium-high, and I'm just gonna add some more water in there just to get out all that coconut milk. And I'm gonna add the water from the Dhal pot. Now I'm gonna cover it and let it come up to a bubble. So it's up to a nice bubble now, so I'm gonna add those pieces of corn in there. And this corn tends to cook very quickly. So within 20 minutes it should be done. But The corn in Trinidad, I find it takes longer to boil, so you'll have to let that boil for a longer time. And now you just add that green seasoning. And you might be wondering why I didn't season the corn with the green seasoning first and then added it. It's because the corn doesn't really absorb much of the green seasoning. For this dish, it's really the sauce that makes the big difference. So you have to season up the sauce good for the entire dish to taste good. Like with meat, the meat actually soaks in all that seasoning. With the corn, it's really a thick sauce. You want to coat the corn, which is going to give the flavor. So all the flavor is really going to be in the sauce. So now I'm just going to crank my heat up to high, and I'm just going to let this do its thing. Just leave it, and within about 15 to 20 minutes, it should be ready. So it's been about 5 minutes that the corn is boiling, and I think I forgot to mention you have to add salt. So you don't want to add too much because you know you can't take salt out, but you can always add a little bit, and then when it's finished you could taste it and see if it needs more. So you see it's bubbling away. I think it'll be done within the next 10 minutes because you don't want to reduce it completely because of that dal in there. When it cools down, the dal is going to thicken up even more. So you don't want to reduce it too much. You want to have a nice kind of thick but not runny sauce. So like an in-between sauce. But if you reduce it too much, it's going to come out kind of like mush. Like it's going to be thick and not runny like a sauce. So it's been 20 minutes and the corn looks like it's ready. For some of you, you might not think that it's ready, but it is ready. Because remember, as it cools, it's going to thicken up more. So I will show you how it looks when it cools down. But I know it looks like it has a lot of gravy right now. That's going to thicken up and it's going to coat the corn nicely. The last thing I like to do is add some chopped Bandhania, Shadon Beni, or it's also called Recao or Culantro. You can also chop some chive or some scallions in there too. And that's how simple I make my curry corn. So I hope you all enjoy it. I'm going to wait till this cools down and I'll show you how it looks. So it's still a little bit warm, but as you can see, the sauce has thickened up a lot. And that's why the addition of the dal or the split peas is really important if I'm gonna eat curry corn, because I generally don't like curry corn. The only way I would eat it is if I put this split peas in it, because I like that thick sauce, especially if I'm eating it over basmati rice or with roti. It goes really great with that. And you can even eat this as cutters. You can just dry it down even more so that the sauce gets really thick and that you can eat it like cutters or like an appetizer. So I hope you all enjoyed the recipe. Leave me all your comments down below. I would love to hear from you. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel to see all the latest videos. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye!